Gentlemen, just out of interest, how many of you, before you got married, ever went to a lawyer, put a stack of money on the table, told him you want the truth, and then asked him the following types of questions? From a legal perspective, is it in my best interests as a man to get married in the Western world? Am I at a legal advantage or disadvantage by marrying? If my wife divorces me, how much money will lawyers like yourself stand to make out of my divorce as a percentage, say, of my future wife and I's net worth? If you don't mind me asking, are you yourself married? If you're divorced, knowing what you know now, and in your professional legal opinion, given you understand the legal system, would you have ever gotten married in the first place? If I do marry, will I or my wife have the advantage and power from a legal perspective? How much money do I stand to lose should my wife decide, for whatever reason, to divorce me? Given how many rich and successful male celebrities end up getting divorced, what hope do you think I, as an average man, have of staying married and not paying you or one of your colleagues to go through a nasty divorce? If you had to estimate, would you say that the man is almost always the one bringing the money and wealth to the table in a marriage? Here's a tip. If you want to know the true value of sex, the incentive that draws men to marry, come to Pattaya, Thailand. You'll find out very quickly the true value of sex. I can assure you of that. You will also discover very quickly your true value as a man, and you will never, ever undervalue yourself. I think Pattaya should be nicknamed Red Pill City. So many of the male tourists walking the streets here have a certain look, walk, and way about them that indicates they're clearly red pill guys. It's very clear to me that many of these men have been through hell and back with women in the Western world, lived long enough to see reality for what it is, and adjusted their lives and their actions accordingly. You can see it in their eyes. These men are labelled as losers back in the Western world. It's so obvious that the word loser is a female word used to shame a self-interested man into giving women what they want: money, resources, time, monogamy, security, and a man in service to them. I see a lot of losers here in Pattaya. A lot. And that includes myself. What are the losers doing here? They're eating, drinking, whoring, relaxing, and spending money on themselves, having a good time. Fascinating. What is the female equivalent of these self-interested men? It's a strong, independent woman. Think about it. The female loser is the type of woman whose actions are contrary to the best interests of the man, just as the male loser's interests and actions are contrary to the interests of the woman. A female loser can be identified by her actions. Won't cook, clean, or give plenty of sex to her man. Argumentative, combative, loudmouthed, irritating to be around, uses men as utilities to further her own agenda. We're surrounded by these loser women in the Western world. It's so easy to see things clearly here in Thailand, where, let's be honest, shall we, poverty keeps the women in check and needing a man. And speaking of losers, imagine how much of a loser a man must be if he went to see a lawyer, asked the questions I did in this video, and then decided rationally not to marry. Grade A loser in the eyes of a Western woman, gentlemen. Makes you think, doesn't it? You know, I really do not want to come home to Australia. As soon as I get the opportunity for a redundancy package at work, I'm taking it, putting all my shit into a shipping container, and I'm coming over here to Thailand permanently and setting up shop. I don't care if I break even either with a business over here. I will simply use my defined benefit pension and other investments to prop up the business. I would love to be able to spend 52 weeks of the year living and working here and doing whatever the hell I want to do, rather than furthering everybody else's agenda back home in the Western world except my own. If I open a ladyboy bar here in Pattaya, you can look forward to some very high quality media work coming out of that bar. I can assure you of that. I will ship all of my broadcast quality film and lighting equipment over here. Human interest stories about the Ladyboy Bar. Well scripted, well produced, high quality films with perfect sound, lighting and voiceovers. There will be philosophical films as well, comparing and contrasting the Western world with Thailand, comparing working with Westerners with working with Thais, and so on. You can be assured that I would put my heart and soul into this work with the Thais, and you know, based on my work on this channel, this would be a very interesting and promising turn of events. I would enter the public eye, reveal myself and my true identity without fear. It's a one-way street though. I wouldn't be coming back to Australia. No white-collar, politically correct employer would have me either if I go down this path. Imagine how much of a loser I would be seen to be, politically incorrect, living and working with Thai ladyboys in the red light districts of Pattaya, Thailand. Not only would no Western employer want me, but no Western woman would ever touch me again with a 10-foot barge pole. I guess that's the risk if I keep treading this path and expand the Pretender project.